Matt Ryan, in the first 2 weeks of his Indianapolis Colts career, P.U. Stinky, stinky, stinky. The Indianapolis Colts are 0-1-1. They are 0-1-1 in their own division. They have tied, after a furious comeback, one of the worst teams in football, a Lovie Smith-led Houston Texans squad. And then they got shut out in Jacksonville, where they have lost 8 straight games. 24-0. And so if you're counting at home, Matt Ryan's career at Indy has begun with losing and tying 2 of the worst teams in football last year. Oh, and they're both in the division. So, good start. But don't worry, Frank Reich says he loves his quarterback. The protection wasn't our best effort. He was under duress a number of times. There's still mistakes that he made, but we all make those. I think overall, you really depended on everyone else out there at the quarterback position. You're just at the center of it, so you got to make it work. What I love about Matt is that he takes responsibility. He's the leader. I could not be happier. He's our quarterback. He's an elite leader. I really believe he can be an elite player in this offense. Womp, womp. Okay, you know what? Frank Reich, after 2 games, his own butt's on fire, probably doesn't want to stoke the flames by saying Matt Ryan's got to play better. We need more out of the quarterback position, like Dan Campbell did last year with Jared Goff. Probably doesn't want to create more fury than there already is. Fine. I think he's lathering it on really thick. I could not be happier with him, but okay. He's also the only option that they have right now, so maybe it's what is he going to say? Let's cut through the BS. Matt Ryan's been beyond bad. He's been absolutely awful. His stats are so bad. Literally last night as I was reading this story and reading up on this take that I was going to have to do this segment, I had to triple and quadruple check my facts. Because I'm looking at this going, okay, through 2 weeks, he's completed 60% of passes. That's fine. That's reasonable. That's good. For 547 yards. Again, fine, split over 2 weeks, a little over 250 yards a week, fine. 1 touchdown, not good. Got shut out on Sunday, really bad. But I could not believe this number, and I thought this was definitely a fact mistake. He has 4 interceptions and 5 fumbles. I was like, there's no way. That's 9 potential turnovers in 2 weeks. And sure enough, I kept checking and double checking and triple checking. He had 3 interceptions and a fumble against the Colts and had 4 fumbles in week number 1. Now, they didn't lose all those fumbles, but he fumbled the football 4 times against the Texans. Could you imagine through 2 games putting the ball on the ground or throwing the football to the other team 9 times in 2 games? He's been an NFL MVP. He's quarterbacked in a Super Bowl. He could one day end up in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Not at this rate. And he put the ball on the turf or threw the ball to the other guy 9 times in 2 weeks? If Daniel Jones would have done that, everybody in the world would have melted down by now. That's totally impossible. And that is the sign of a guy who is either A, careless, or B, physically is deteriorating rapidly. Now, the offensive line should be much better than it is right now, and they have not been very good in front of Matt Ryan. But if you're watching these Colts games, and unbelievably I have, He's so frantic. His footwork is terrible. Every single snap, Matt Ryan looks perplexed and confused. Every snap. There is never a confident, I got the ball, looking through my progressions, boom, there's my guy. There is never anything that looks smooth in the first 2 weeks. Nothing. Anything that's worked in the first 2 weeks has felt miraculous. This is so bad. And look, I didn't think it was going to be this bad. I thought it would swing between it's fine, and hey, that's pretty good. I did not think it was going to be, oh my God, this is awful. And it's an, oh my God, this is awful. Matt Ryan does not have very long to get this thing turned around because either his coach is going to get fired or that season is going to be over before it started. You're 0-1-1 in the division against two of the worst teams in football from last year. Now, I don't think the Jaguars are going to be that bad, and so maybe that loss doesn't look as bad. But, I mean, you didn't put any points on the board. And, oh, by the way, in the second half, if you were watching this game, and again, I don't know why I was, but the Colts consistently threatened in the second half to get in the red zone and score points, and every single drive collapsed with no points. I was like, okay, they're back in the red zone for the third time this quarter, and it get up, no points, 0 points. Well, it's good because, the schedule lightens up for them. They've got the Chiefs this weekend, and then, all right, you got the Titans, although the Titans are desperate for a win, and then you're back to the drawing board. You got to go to Denver. Nathaniel Hackett might puke that one away, but then you got to take on a Jaguars team that just shuts you out. I mean, and then later on in the season, you've got Chargers, you've got Eagles, you've got Patriots and Raiders and Vikings and Cowboys. I mean, figure this thing out, Matt Ryan and Frank Reich. Figure it out. I couldn't be happier. Oof, I'm sure you could be. And you could just try a little bit. You know what? Think about when you were playing and you were backing up Jim Kelly. Might you be happier if peak Jim Kelly was your quarterback? Maybe.